Josh, this is important. People with nervous system disorders, mental health issues, who you can't have a mental health imbalance and not have a nervous system disorder. I mean, it's related. These people, a lot of them do the very thing that exacerbates their symptoms. Caffeine, any stimulation that's going to stimulate an already hyped up nervous system, okay, it's just not going to work. That's not the thing to do. It's totally, what do they say? Counterintuitive. Like, you don't want to do that. I know why people do it though, and it's because it gives a sense of euphoria. They're suffering with these symptoms, and some people all day long. So it's like they just like, give me something to take the edge off. And see, caffeine can do that, and other stimulants, and white sugar. And see, when I say sugar's bad, I'm not talking about the sugar in like organic fruits. I mean, we need sugar. Sugar gives us energy. It's electricity. But talking about processed sugar. I'm talking about things that aren't organic. That's what I'm talking about. So you don't want to do those kind of things. Any stimulants that aren't natural. Even the natural ones, you got to be careful of, because somebody can say, well, coffee's natural, or guayusa tea's natural. Guayusa tea's better than coffee. Coca leaves, if you're in Bolivia or Peru, you can get coca leaves and chew on them. That's better than coffee too. The problem is though, man, everything's addicting at some point, because you start to feel it gives a hit of euphoria. So then you're like, well, I want to do this all the time then. Why not? I mean, why not? That's how I was. I'm like, if something feels good, why not do it all the time? I don't care what people think. Like, oh, you're going to become an addict. So what? It feels good. It's real addict mentality. So if you're going to be addicted to something, and everybody is, you want to do something that's going to have more of a grounding effect, but not something that's going to like make you dull. Okay, because when I say grounding effect, there's two things that come to mind: tobacco and ganja. A lot of people like ganja. It's okay if that's your medicine. You got to feel like, what's your medicine and what isn't. For me, the ganja always stimulated the nervous system, and so again, we want to do the opposite. We want to ground the nervous system. We want to relax the nervous system. Tobacco did that a much better job than ganja. Also, ganja, when I see the people that do it, you get dull after a while. Your mind gets muddy. So you got to stay sharp and alert and conscious. That helps you transform and be aware of the subtleties of how this nervous system is functioning. The intricate kind of ways that the nervous system or mind's functioning that you need to be aware of so you can transcend it. See, marijuana can dull that. But if you know, there's no rules here. I'm just saying, look at this stuff. Tobacco, it gives a nice grounding effect, but it doesn't like dull the mind. So, but I'm not talking about the commercial tobacco you buy at the store. I'm not talking about that. You got to either like grow your own and dry it, and then it's best to chew it or make it into a juice and sip it or snort it or something. When you smoke it, that hits the nervous system. It's a strong dopamine hit. I mean, you're sucking in fire, smoke. Like, it's not good. Go to a burning building and see how that feels. You know, you start inhaling smoke. You don't want to do that. But tobacco has a nice grounding effect. But you gotta use, again, it's difficult to find pure things nowadays. So you gotta either like grow your own tobacco or go to like South America and get, because they have natural tobacco. It grows wild, they dry it, and then they chop it up and give it to you. That's what you want. You don't want nothing added to it. And then you can chew on that a little bit or whatever. So I'm not telling people to go like do tobacco, but what I'm saying is, if you're addicted to something that's not serving you and that's actually making you worse, just just change the addiction. A lot of people, they're not at the place where they can just be free of all addictions. I mean, technically, I don't think anybody is. We all got something, food or sweets, something, you know. So pick your vices wisely, and use it as a medicine. I mean, it's better than a lot of pharmaceutical drugs out there, I'll tell you that. But it's like you gotta pick the stuff that's good quality and that's not going to hurt you and that's not poisonous. This is the thing. But back to the stimulation thing, you just be aware. If you have a sensitive nervous system, you probably do if you're watching these videos, look at your life, see what you're doing that's overstimulating your nervous system. You want to try to cut all those things out as best as possible. That's why I made this other channel, Beyond the Alchemy, that we deal with semen retention and preserving your sexual energy, because that's a huge stimulation. A lot of these people who watch things on the internet and masturbate, and people can get sucked. You can get into that like all day and night, some people. Why? Because you're constantly stimulating your dopamine box in your brain. You're doing drugs like all day and night. You're doing your own dopamine drug. So you got to look at your life, and that's just going to wreak havoc on your nervous system. It's going to get more weak. There's already an existing weakness. You don't want to keep weakening it. But a lot of us, we just don't know. We need some guidance with that. You get so desperate or far out there that we just lose ourselves. We're like, I just can't help it, you know. So we're trying to bring people back into some natural, inner, healthy, holistic alignment. That can take some time. But first step is you do inventory. You introspect and see, what am I doing in my life that I shouldn't be doing? Let's narrow it even more. How am I stimulating my nervous system? How am I doing that? Look at your habits in your daily life. How am I doing that? And you just write all that down so you can see it. It's not just the external chemistry we ingest, such as the caffeine and excessive sweets and sugars. It's like I said, the internal chemistry that we can activate via things we watch, things we look at, people we're around, situations that we're in. You go to a rave party and all that stimulation. Yeah, you get to escape for a few hours, but then that made your nervous system more weak. That can affect your sleep and etc. It's all tied in together. So look at your habits. Look and see what can you let go of that's probably not serving you. We need to replace these stimulating habits with more grounding habits. This is what we got to do. We got to work on the level of duality for a little while. You know, I can't just meditate your way out and say, oh, I'm just spirit and I'm not. I've tried that in the past, and other people do that too. No, we got to work with the realm that we're in right now, which is the human realm, and then you try to balance yourself to the degree, and then your spiritual practice, which is the main answer, but then that becomes actually efficient. It doesn't do any good to have a spiritual practice if you're all imbalanced. It's just your fruits are going to be very little. So we got to work on both levels, spiritual level and also human level. So I'm saying, introspect and see. What are you doing? How are you stimulating yourself via chemistry, caffeine, too much sugar, too much, what are some others? I don't know, ice cream and cakes and whatever. And then go further. The people you're hanging out with, the environments you're in, is that stimulating? You see where I'm at? There's like nobody here. It's peaceful. You can hear the ocean waves are over there. That's grounding. You want to be in a grounding environment. You want that nice grounding earth energy to help neutralize this spasticity in your nervous system. You need grounding. So this is the point of the channel. How can we look at all the ways maybe that we're unconscious of how we're creating too much stimulation in our life, and then we look to try to replace them with more earth grounding ways. Somebody's coming in a truck, they're selling stuff, so this is a good time to end, I think. All right, let me know if you have any questions. See you.